All right, so I'm gonna describe a little bit more the detail of the program, and then also who we are teaching with, and then what we are seeking to produce the expected outcome from our program. So as what I described earlier, our course, what we are doing it, we try to understand the transitional environment design at multi-different scale level. As what you see in here, how we are living in the city level, at the city level, in built environment level, in terms of the density, in terms of the fabrics, and in terms of the material, and then also overall infrastructure as well. And then on top, what kind of energy we can actually find from the natural resource and how much we are actually using, especially the carbon footprint is massive, the problem to understand the current situation in our living space. And also how we can produce the food in order to create better regenerative environment, and how we can make a resilient city. And then in order to do that, also we need to understand the existing density of the population. Now, how many people are living in this planet? Over 8 million of the people are living in this planet. You know, what they needed, what they are needed, and how their the lifestyle is about. So what they actually produce and how they consume in this built environment, that's what we're gonna look at, but not only from the environmental aspect, but as well as from the overall in the nature as a part of the co-living creature as both inhabited and inhabited. As what you can see, in order to study about transitional environmental design, key word is about regeneration. Regeneration means, as what you see, the nature of the changes, and then how it can sustain and how can it find it's a self-organization and a living creature. Then we can link of the theory of ecology and then also economy. Ecology and economy is in the same root. Originally, the meaning is about the home. So we're gonna understand about the ecology together with is a distribution of the economy, and then how, who's living in there, what kind of the societies in there. So we need to understand about social aspect. Then overall, we can see in the world view, it means from tiny scales of the macro scale, who we are, where we are living in the small tiny space, up to the city level and the territorial level and the international level. We're gonna look at it. Even beyond the international level, we're gonna look at above the planet. As what you can see on the right-hand side, those kind of aspects as a bigger scales of the full fields of transitional environment. That's what Kate Lowers was talking about as a donut economy system. Where we are, how we are living, is just like a donut economy. That's what you see on the right-hand side in the diagram. Where we are is between the ecological, the ceiling, and the social foundation. And then in between, depending on how we are living in between this ecology and the social society, we can make different impact and an influence. So the key word to understand there, it's most two important key theory in our program is regeneration and distribution of the economy. Also, as another aspect, understanding from those the theory, how we can move forward to formulate design aspect, we need to understand transformative innovation. In biological inspired design, it means maybe you might heard about the biomimicry, how the living creature can sustain their living, the living environment, then living system thinking, ecological system thinking, and then also health and well-being system, and then resilience. Based on that, we can understand overall regenerative development from 6 different aspects: environmental aspect, social aspect, and an economic and political and cultural and even spiritual. That's what we are emphasizing in our course about the Gaia theory, but you're going to see a little bit of the example of the project later on. Interesting thing is the sustainability, that's a bit more familiar word from most of the us, but from 2015, this term of the sustainability has been transformed as regeneration. That's what we are emphasizing in our course. Regeneration is about emphasizing more closely about restoration and resilience and regenerative. It means we are more the focusing about the living system itself in various scales of living creature and the environment. To do that, we are looking not only within the built environment, or not only the natural environment, we are looking both in between rural and then urban, and the local and the global, even personal level and the organizational level, and the territorial dimension. Especially we are looking from the small scales of the Hong Kong up to the GBA, and we are learning lots of the international practice in the global level as well. And then also we try to emphasizing the planetary design as well as a whole. Based on that program characteristic, what we could produce so far. This year, so start from the last year, 2022, September, new program has been launched, as what I explained it. But before that, in 2021 to 2022, our course name was UED, Urban Environment Design. At the time, we tried to transit our course as a TD. And then we tried how those students can actually understand what our system thinking, and then what kind of outcome they can actually produce. So what you can see on the left-hand side, that was the project from the Wang Cha. She produced really interesting project to emphasizing about island therapy, focusing about the urban psychology, and then bring out into anthropologic the aspect, and then also link as spiritual and beyond the planetary the design. And on the right hand side, this year we just finished the first semester, and then one of the project we've been used as case study in Dongcheong, titled Co-Living Vision, and then that was the teamwork. Shu Chun and Ho Wenxi, Huang Jie-ro, that team produced really interesting co-living vision, and then they produced really interesting critical analysis to provide the future vision as a new paradigm shift. And then as what we are closely linked with Hong Kong Institute of Urban Design, as I'm working as a chairperson in there, and then also as the chief editorial, the editors in the journal, so we can actually give the lots of opportunity to the student. They can actually publish their work in that journal, in that institute. Those students also had the chance to publish their work in that journal. Was another year, 2021, one of the students, Yu Yang Peng, she produced really interesting project focusing about circular economy and then anthropometric and Gaia theory using one of the small island, Kai Chau Island in Hong Kong. And then he produced really interesting the circulation from the life cycle system, from the production and then consumption, and then also bring those network, and then also the system thinking from the small tiny the understanding from the wind in that island up to the beyond the planetary the thinking. And that's what he produced as the final submission as the video. We can quickly share. We are emphasizing students to have really critical systematic thinking, but we also increasing lots of creativity and flexibility to produce as unique and challenging project based on their own interpretation. There's biology of chemicals and force. There's a part of So the scales keep coming in and out and then out and in, and it clearly represent the clear understanding and the system thinking from the small tiny scales up to the macro scale. So as already explained, the sea and land and the urban from the atmosphere and the geosphere. Okay, so I'm gonna stop in here, a bit longer video. So that was one of the great outcome from the student. And another interesting outcome from that year 2021, Liu Pengyan, she also produced a really interesting capstone project called Filter Island, using the plastic waste, how we can create the new system to make clean and sustainable environment in Kai Chao. So that was her project. And another interesting project about emphasizing the theory of the anthropogenetic and the metabolism, especially urban metabolism, water metabolism and climate changes. And she produced quite interesting microcirculation of the marine culture using rice farm on the water. And this year, the final UED student also produced really interesting the project with a clear understanding of environmental and then the landscape aspects, and from the how people are using and consuming the energy within the small island. And then he produced really interesting both the urban and water metabolism using from the low resources up to the material and the life cycle systems. And then how he produced his understanding with the different visualizations. Another interesting project was about the farm morphology using another small island in Hong Kong, the Peng Chau. And then this one was a group project, and then it was focusing about ecology and an urban system within that existing island, and try to understand existing the issue and then transform as a new opportunity for the new paradigm shift in the future. And the current TED student last semester, what they've done, using the given case study in Tongcheng, one of the small, the biggest island in Hong Kong, as a loss of the current, the constructions ongoing, and then they try to understand the existing, the issues and the challenge, and then how they can actually bring those challenges into new idea for the future vision. And then they had to understand those issues with a different way of the critical thinking. But they haven't developed how they can actually apply it yet, because that's going to be in the second semester. And then this another group, how they look at this as a same island, focusing about climate change and a new spatiality. So it means spatial structure and the spatial the layout and the organization, how they understood, and then they could develop different the skills and the tools to evaluate existing the resource and material, such as urban heat, and then also the climate changes and the different orientation of urban morphology. That was example as what we could produce and what we are seeking to bring the project expected outcome from the student. As what you can see, our program is a total 36 credit. And then we do have a various compulsory and then elective subject. Most of the compulsory and elective subject is a 3 credit. And what you can see, we do have the foundation subjects, and we do have the major subject, and we do also have the design subject. The capstone research academic writing started from the semester on, and the student can learn how to write and what kind of literature they need to build up, so that their final project of the capstone project will be 6 credit. In beside, student can have the foundation subjects, such as what you can see. You can have the selected those subject, design for the biosphere, design for changes, and design system thinking. In parallel, what we are delivering the subject is about regenerative ecosystem design and then territory, society, and spatial complexity. And then also we are emphasizing how those the idea from the theory up to the practice, they can actually apply to further their own interest in design. That's what we are emphasizing in our course. So total, the semester 1 is about 13 weeks, and then semester 2, and also another 13 weeks. After that, from middle of April until end of the July, students can spend their own time for the capstone project, and then that's gonna be individual project. Who we are teaching with. Today, our professor, the leader of this TED course, Lohong Couturier, he is not here today, but he's gonna mainly deliver lots of the theoretical elective subject and the major subject, and then also another the MDes deputy specialism leader, Gerhard Bruins, is going to join from the second semester together with Associate Dean Peter Hasdell. Also, he is the SIM leader in bachelor degree. He will join from the second semester. And myself, I'm joining from the first semester up to the last semester, and running the major project and elective subject together with the final subject for the capstone project. And Daniel Elkin, he's also discipline leader for the bachelor degree, but he's mainly teaching for the capstone research, how you can write the academic paper. And Skylo, he's just a new faculty member in our MDes. He's gonna teach together with me for the final capstone project in third semester, in the final semester. So what we do in our program is quite interesting, good opportunity of progression. First term, what we are focusing, we are dealing with, what are the issues? Second term, we are focusing how to apply system thinking and then drive desirable outcome. And the final term, with our course, with the expected outcome, we try to anticipate the future environment and new paradigm shift for the future. That's what we are dealing with. I think that's all from me today.
Okay, thank you, Sami.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Shui, and I'm glad to be here sharing my sharing something as current student in KD. And here's the introduction of myself. I completed my undergraduate study in landscape architecture with the degree of engineering and technology, which developed my interest in green infrastructure, ecohydrology, and design with nature. My hobby is bird watching and hiking. This is the photo of the chickadee suddenly landed on my hand, and this is a photo of me in dendrology class. As for my motivation to TD, there are of course objective reasons for PolyU Design's 3 nodes academic reputation. So here I'd like to share my personal motivation about how well TD matches my vision and my undergraduate knowledge I value. I grew up in city center, but actually spent a lot of my childhood with nature in my parents' hometown, which is already demolished and changed to roads and flats in 2018. So I've seen the interface and conflict between nature and humanity due to urbanization during these 2 decades. My vision is for the welfare of social ecological system in the process of urban development. Actually, landscape architecture design focus in some universities depends on their location and their culture. So my university always concerns about suburban area, asking us to apply knowledge about environment science and applied science. So for me, TD's forward-looking subject with courses make me feel very comfortable and familiar concerning problems not only in cities but also in rural areas. And it directly faced the new global challenges in the whole perspective of the world that designers of current and new generations must realize. And it brings knowledge about regenerative design principles developed from various of principles and various of disciplines, and also related knowledge about urban design. As Sandy mentioned before, there's always relationship between TD and our previous study. Students in TD have many different major backgrounds, and I believe they all have their own motivations. If describing my experience in PolyU with 3 words, they may be inspired, reflecting, and tough. I really enjoy it when combining my field of knowledge with the program and coming up with the design strategy in a regenerative way. And I'm happy that I'm here not repeating the design process and resting my laurels, though the issues of the site is sometimes similar to my undergraduate project. My goal, so how PolyU helped me to achieve my goals, which is to create something that can truly contribute to its users, whether to satisfy clients or increase social acceptance of our design. The feasibility of the design is inseparable from the intuitive results, and TD has helped me about that. As an example, I've learned how to calculate indoor carbon dioxide concentration and tree appraised value before, and now I find a favorable position for the use of my skill when analyzing with data or showing the actual benefits of the project with distance thinking. I guess most of you guys are curious about our studio course, so here you go. This is the final panels of one of my favorite projects in our class. This studio started from the field trip to analyze the site of the data center, which has a large consumption of energy. Students in group will find out their interest among various issues of the site and find out the energy flow of the urban metabolism, and then we'll achieve regenerative design by influencing the input and output of the town system. And this is part of the final booklet of my group, using the greenhouse as a cleansing organism to clean water and make it reusable for data centers cooling system. And when it comes to larger scale, the wastewater in the whole town would be gathered and cleaned by wetland system. So here you can see my drawings of the benefits to the meso system of the town. We have also a group with more fancy drawings, more ideas like biomimicry, permaculture, and so on, just as Sunny showed to you. So we meet our tutors once a week and show the updated work to them for some suggestions. All these drafts here are almost revised and deleted by us many times for some reasons. So that is kind of support, but also some challenges for us. And here it shows how I communicate with my group mate and how we discuss our understanding of some comments from guests and tutors after each presentation. At the beginning, my group mates also always forgot or misunderstand something after oral discussion. So, and it didn't get better when we changed to some group chat or so on. So it's sometimes very funny, but a really waste of time. Anyway, we finally find our own proper way to communicate and work as a group. And I already mentioned comment support of our tutor and guests. Besides, I wanted to add that our tutors are really nice and they are always willing to help us. So just don't be afraid to ask any questions if you have. We have a very good study environment. Like you can see, I'm already in the studio sharing this to you. Yeah, that's all. We should have a very good, happy time in PolyU, and good luck. Thank you.